Howdy y'all, today is June 10th and it was the second week of the farmers market. It was another very fun and successful week. It was a little slower this week, but I at least had plenty of eggs. I actually had the perfect number, so I ran out right as it was closing, so that was good. On the agenda today, I'm just checking these guys real quick, letting them out. And then I'm going to go out to the larger farm property and check on that beehive with the small hive beetle problem, and then get some beetle traps in there for them. So when it gets toasty like this and the sun's on the hive, it's starting to get a little shady now, which will help them out. But they'll all start congregating on the outside, and they call it bearding because it looks like a massive beard of bees. This is a relatively small beard. These bees, I mean, last year they didn't do it too much. Some hives you'll see where they get massive, but this is just a small little beard, just they're hanging on the outside cooling off. When you see that in the springtime, sometimes it's kind of dicey because the bees can actually swarm, which means they're going to take off with Queenie and go find somewhere else to live. So it basically splits the colony in half. So this is not what's happening now. It's not really past swarm season yet, but I know these guys are fine. All right, y'all, out at the large property now. I got the bees some more sugar water because they've been drinking that down pretty good. I haven't done the beetle traps yet, but I will here in a little while. My dad's doing some grass cutting because tomorrow we're getting some rain. I'm super excited for that because it's been so dry out here. I fully intended to get the speckled Sussex out today, but I was just kind of busy with the farmer's market and everything else going on this afternoon. So right now I just took down the chicken's net and they're heading toward the woods here. So I'm going to pull this coop and get it out there with the rest. I think that's a 100-foot net that's going around those two coops. So it might be a little tight with 3 coops. I might have to start moving that entire perimeter fence every other day, which might be a bit obnoxious. So we'll see how it fits. I might need to buy another net. Yeah, that was a workout. It rolls great, but that's still a long way to haul. So there's 3, got to line it up a little better. By tomorrow, these 2 front coops here will be pulled up next to that one. Get a drink of water real quick, and then I'll get the net up. I'll be looking forward to this rain just for the fact that trying to get these posts in the ground are not very fun right now. Some of them are starting to bend a little bit on me. 1 net and 3 coops will definitely work out just fine. There's plenty of room. It looks like it'll be maybe every 3 days, but it gives you plenty of room around the back and the sides to walk around. So I am not worried about it. I have 3 more coops yet to build this year, so I'm only going to need 1 more net. Nice fresh cut out here. Feels a lot better. It was getting pretty tall, so now you can really see the edges of the woods, or soon to be woods. It'll take a little bit of time. This ground is just cracking terribly. I mean, it's so big you can I can stick my entire hand all the way down in there, so we could really use some rain to get some moisture back in the soil here. My dad made this little bench, so we added that out here. Got some Thompsons on it. It's really shaping up out here and looking nice. I don't think it's quite ready to sit on just yet, but this was just extra lumber from the barn that I didn't have any use for, so why not make use of it? Need to get out here and do some trimming again. It's getting a little tall and starting to touch that bottom wire. Howdy y'all, today is June 11th and it is raining. It is so nice. It has been over 3 weeks since we got our last rain, so super happy about this. Gonna go ahead and get the chickens done, and then there's really not much I'm gonna be doing today just because it is raining out. So now I'm over in the Buff and Marin coop. Their feed bin was out, so I just filled it up. I feed them a local organic mix that I get from a feed mill in town. So I got them done. The chicks are still good in their food barrel. I need to pick up some more chick food though. But anyway, these guys are good. Frizz is still on her nest. I've lost count of how many days she's been broody. Broody meaning she wants to sit on some eggs and hatch them, but I don't want her to, so I've just been taking them every day. Well, now I don't have any chick feed over here. Their barrel sprung a leak, had water all in it, so the food was all wet. So I just put it on the ground, they can munch through it. There's just a little bit of dry stuff. I kind of cleaned it out that I can fill them up with tomorrow, but I definitely need to get some chick food. Howdy y'all, today is June 12th and it is moving day for the speckled Sussex here. So I'm gonna get them loaded up and we'll take them out to their new coop. You're ready to have run of the coop, aren't you, Carol? Just about. The chicken inside that green part there is the one that the Americana rooster scalped. She's doing great. Just happy to get her in a larger area now. I've got their food and water ready. All that's left is adding the chickens. Checking out the strawberries, and if you look at this, you can see it's already starting to branch off. And we've got a little bit of a root system already going, so that's pretty cool. And we've got a nice little start on a pepper here coming on. So this drone comb has been in the freezer for 2 solid days. I'm gonna go ahead, take it out, let it warm back up to regular air temperature, and then I'm gonna pop it into this hive out here because they don't have a drone comb yet. And the other one, when I took this out, I replaced it with a clean drone comb, so all 3 hives will now have drone comb in them. So the last thing I'm going to do in the garden this year is plant some pumpkins. So my brother actually gave me this weed cloth because I'm out and he just had some extra laying around, so took him up on it, and this will be the last thing I do. The pumpkins are mainly just for the chickens to snack on over the winter time. Pumpkins keep pretty well, and it'll give the chickens something fresh to nibble on when there's nothing else green. Today is June 13th. Let's get the speckled Sussex moved for the first time. Kind of a weird situation. Got a chicken with its head stuck, so I gotta hurry and pry it loose before it suffocates. Okay, crisis averted. So this chicken got its head wedged in between here, and looks like he's okay. She's okay. Whew, that was not easy. Basically just used this crowbar and wedged it between the wood here, gave it all I had, and was able to help get her head up because she was pulling, getting kind of tired and just giving up. So luckily it looked like she's all right. She's got a little injury on her eye just from this nail here, but other than that, it's okay. Just a little bruising on that eye, but we're okay. Poor baby. Some things you just don't think of when they're that small. I don't know how long she was there. Thankfully, she's looks like she's doing all right now. Probably a little shaken up, I'm sure. But those braces in the corners, they're in all the corners here. Those are there for stability and to keep the coop square, so that way it doesn't twist and get crazy and then the door won't open and close and all sorts of things. So I do need to have those braces in there. So, other news today, actually when I was at the farmer's market this past Saturday, I had 2 ladies come up to me and bought a dozen eggs. They wanted to pay with card. Told them, sorry, I don't have that up and going yet, but I'm looking into it, hope to get it going. And the woman asked me who I banked with, told her, and she just so happened to be a representative from the bank. So we got to talking, swapped info, and I met her at the branch today and got everything figured out. Super sweet, super helpful, and fingers crossed I have a card reader for the farmers market this next Saturday. We'll see. The device was ordered today, so fingers crossed. But if not this week, not the end of the world. At least it's coming, and it'll be the following week. So besides that, I also got a call from the well company, and they parked their rig here. And I didn't realize that the blue flag they'd put in the ground, they had actually marked it already, saying that that was the best spot to drill. So I had picked it up and moved it where I wanted it to go. It was only about an 8-foot difference. But anyway, I'm still gonna talk to him to see if I can move it a little bit so it's not right in the way. But they did park all of their equipment here. So this is the well drilling rig. So I'd imagine that they're coming to actually drill the well tomorrow, which will be super cool. Good morning, y'all. Today is June 14th. I'm thinking the well people are going to be here today since they parked this here last night. I'm wanting to still move it over because the well would be going there, and that doesn't leave a huge space to drive between, and it leaves kind of an awkward space here. So I'm going to see if they can move it over a little bit. Talking to him yesterday, he didn't want to put it any closer because obviously when you're drilling you're going to be pushing dirt up, and he said it would smack my tomato plants. I really don't care. Those are pretty temporary compared to this well that's not temporary. So anyway, I am gonna go ahead and just be ready to pull either of these up and dig these up if need be. I don't want it right in the garden, but on the edge with the flag or anywhere in here is perfect for me. So I can replant the tomatoes as soon as it's done. I'd just rather get the well in a spot that it'll work the best. Let's go check on these chickens and make sure everybody is doing all right. So the bees are cleaning out that drone comb that I put in there, and they're throwing the larvae down to the bottom, and then the bees are taking them off, flying them away. Some of them are kind of heavy, so they're just dropping to the bottom right underneath the hive, and ants are cleaning them up, so everything's working great. Doing a little bit of weeding, pruning, and fertilizing on these tomatoes. Looks a lot nicer afterwards. Howdy y'all, today is June 15th. I've already done all the farm chores out at the larger property as far as moving chickens, feeding water, and getting eggs, things like that. So today I am going to harvest some honey, at least one honey super from the white hive. It should be about 20 pounds, so I'm super excited to do that. Washing up the jars now, and then we will go grab the honey. So I have not yet put my extractor together yet, so I should probably work on that. It should look like something like that when I'm done. Looks like a lot of little pieces here and there, but we'll start working on it. There aren't any instructions on putting this together, but it's pretty self-explanatory. But right now I'm missing a piece right here. So you see how there's a cap there and a screw underneath to hold this on? That is not over here. I've combed through the box and I did manage to find this, the screw that goes underneath, but the little cap on the top is not there. So I will have to rig something up. It's pretty much put together at this point. They give you this little tool here. It's not really big enough to help you out much, They also give you some tape, which is handy. This gasket, don't really know, no idea what that is. And then the honey gate. So tape goes on here, obviously. And then that's where the gate's gonna go. This, there's a gasket in here. It seems like it's just gonna fall out. Let me undo it for you real quick, see if I can do it one-handed. So when you open it up, this is just gonna pop out, I feel like, when the honey starts flowing, so I might need to tamp that down in there better. I mean, this thing's not gonna be all the way open, but when you're opening and closing it, it does kind of catch a little bit. So I don't know on that. I don't really know where this gasket's supposed to go. It doesn't really fit great here. It's kind of loose. So I don't know if that's the answer or not. Maybe it's just an extra, but it's a little too big for this. I don't know. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead, put some tape on it, get this on, and then we're pretty much good to go. Well, I went ahead and put the gasket on. There's really no other place to put it except there. It doesn't do too much, but it did help straighten this up. So got it on the bottom where it's probably most important. I could move the whole thing. I just have to go get a couple more tools, something bigger than that, because that is the biggest it goes, and that's definitely not gonna get around that. But anyway, besides that and the missing thing there, it is good to go. Spins good. I gotta clean it out. There's still a little bit of styrofoam in there, but I'll give it a good wash here, and then we'll get to doing some honey. Filling her up, gonna give it a good wash, and it looks like that valve's holding just fine, so that's good to see. Okay, so the buffs, marins, and chicks behind me here, they're all done. I cleaned out their waters because they were starting to get some algae in them. So they're good to go. I still need to get some more chick feed for these guys back here. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and hop in the white hive. They are pretty toasty, so they're hanging out outside of the beehive at the moment. Quite a bit of them, doing some bearding. So I'm gonna go in and brush the bees off with this and that honey super that they have done. And then I have a separate box that I'm gonna put the frames in once they're cleaned off of bees. And then I'm gonna put a lid on it. So it's gonna take a little bit of time to brush each frame off and make sure I don't get any bees in my box. Inevitably, I'm gonna get one or two. But after that, then we'll take it in and process it. Okay, so far I've cleared off 3 frames. It's 8-frame hive, so still a few more to go. I've actually gotten stung twice. One was in a weird spot. It was actually on my ankle. I'm not wearing my boots, I'm wearing my tennis shoes. So one must have just crawled right up and got me. It's just a weird spot. And the other one was actually through the suit, right kind of where the glove and whatnot meet. So you can get stung through your gloves and your suit. So I mean, it's definitely a layer of protection, but it by no means 100% protects you. So I've been stung through my suit a few times last year. So, I mean, it's just a possibility. So anyway, let's go ahead and get these last few done. All right, y'all, the honey has been extracted from the hive. Actually, right after I updated you last, I went back over there to get another frame and got stung on my other ankle. So wear your boots, not tennis shoes, when you're grabbing honey from the hive, because when you do brush the bees off, some will inevitably fall on the ground. And instead of flying, they're just gonna climb up the next closest thing to them, which happens to be your leg. And then you're shifting around and moving, and lo and behold, you get stung. So those could have easily been avoided if I wore my boots. Why I didn't, I did think about it, but I just didn't. The other sting really wasn't that bad. I haven't looked at any of them yet. But because it was through the bee suit, it's able to pop that stinger out a little easier versus just getting stung, so I don't think there was enough time to get a lot of venom pumped into the one that is on my arm, kind of by my elbow. But we'll see. Nothing feels too terrible at the moment. I can kind of feel my right ankle a little bit, but anyway, it's sitting here. I still got some bees buzzing around me, and there's clearly some bees still in the hive, but I'm gonna go ahead and get this in, and then we'll get to the fun part. You know, just the other day I was bragging about not getting stung at all this year. Last year I was getting stung about once a month. I think these 3 stings almost put me in the same position I was last year. I think I'm 1 sting still less this year, but if I had just worn boots, it would have helped a lot, but oh well, next time. Y'all are not gonna believe this. You see this little stinger right here? Yeah, I pulled my gloves off and it stabbed me right there. So technically, I guess that's a 4th sting. So here are the 8 frames that I harvested. This top one here was the last one I grabbed. When it's capped over, it's good to harvest, but when you start getting into the hive, the bees recognize me as a predator, and they'll actually start gobbling down the honey as fast as they can, so that way they can take it with them if they've got to pick up and move. So that's what was happening on this last frame here, because it was taking me a while to get through these. By the time I got to the last one, they were uncapping it and starting to hurry and take some of it. So that's why that frame has a few holes in it. It's no big deal. So anyway, how the honey process is going to work right now. So we're going to grab a frame, and then we're going to use this spiky bit here, and that'll break the cap and allow the honey to flow out. From there, it'll go into the extractor, where we'll spin it out like this, and then the honey will settle to the bottom. We'll flip the frame again, spin it again. You'll have plenty of honey in the bottom, and then you'll come down here to this cap, open it up where it goes down into the strainer. It's actually a double strainer, so it's larger holes here, even finer holes here, and it'll go down into the pot underneath, and then from there it goes into the jars, which just coming out of the washer. These are 2 different sizes. I have another size yet that I have to get out here, but that is going to be the process. So quickly found out the legs are terrible, so took those off. It just shakes way too bad for that, so it's just not worth it. And the equipment I used last year didn't have legs on it, and that's probably the reason why. All right, so the honey is all extracted using the honey extractor. So now I'm out here with the empty frames, and I'm gonna go ahead and pop them back into the hive for the bees to clean up and start repacking. Also, the tub that I have, or that I was putting the frames in, I'm gonna leave that out here as a community feed because there's some honey in the bottom of that. And I'm gonna put it way out there, far away from both hives. That way both sets of bees can go grab some of it, and there's no fighting, no robbing. If I were to leave it close to the white hive, it could draw some fighting, and I don't want my bees doing that. So I'm gonna do that. I am more equipped this time. I did halfway through, I put my boots on, my work boots, not my muck boots. This time I'm prepared with my muck boots, so nothing's gonna get my ankles. Man, my right foot is super swollen. I can barely walk on it. I'm starting to feel the elbow a little bit. It's not too terrible. I cannot believe it, but I can't feel my left ankle at all yet. Thank goodness, unless I wouldn't be able to walk. So hopefully it stays down on the swelling. But anyway, I'm gonna pop these back in and then go in and have some fun bottling honey. The frames are all back in the hive, so that's all good. The bees will be able to mess with that tonight. I'm putting this bucket out far away from all of them. The extractor I'll also set out, but I'm not going to do that tonight. I'll do that tomorrow because the bees are all going to be up tonight anyway, so they're not going to be out flying around. So gonna get this done real quick. We are starting round 2 here, so we are already at 20.2 pounds. Obviously I haven't weighed this yet, but still plenty of honey left in the drum here. We've done about half of the medium jars, all the small jars, so just starting to fill the big ones up now. Howdy out, today is June 16th. Last night, bottling all the honey, after I got everything weighed, we actually came up to 34 pounds, which is a new record, which is pretty cool. Last year, the most I got was 20. I only had 2 harvests last year. This year, I'm anticipating at least 4. As far as my bee stings, I'm kind of struggling a little bit with my right foot today. I can't put much weight on it. Luckily, my left arm didn't do much. My left leg isn't doing much. Thank goodness, I would not be able to walk. My elbow is swelling up a little bit though, so I can feel that. My right foot though is pretty bad off. I'm wearing slippers today because I can't put a shoe on. Just putting weight on it in general hurts, but farm doesn't stop, so I've got a lot to do today. So I'm getting the extractor out. I'm gonna place it far off from the hives so the bees can clean it up for me. Then I'm gonna get the buffs and marrons done here. And then just a couple other small things, and then still got farm chores out at the larger property as well. Got it wheeled out here. The bees are gonna love cleaning that up. It's plenty far away from the hive too. So today is actually beehive day, but considering I can barely stand or walk or do anything, I'm not gonna get in there today. I'll probably get in there tomorrow. I don't know about this farmer's market tomorrow, y'all. This ankle is bad off. My other leg's starting to swell up a little bit now too. I put some stuff on, some castor oil. We'll see if that helps at all. The elbow's just itchy more than anything. Luckily my left wrist didn't do anything. That was probably just a junk stinger that didn't have much left in it when I got poked by it on accident. I managed to hobble out to the barn. I'm washing some more eggs for the farmer's market tomorrow. Propped up out here. My parents are both here. They moved the chicken coops into the chicken chores, so thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it because that was not going to be fun with my ankle. So anyway, quick update. The out here, the well company parked their truck there on Tuesday and it's Friday. So I gave them a call, said, hey, what's up? You gonna do it today? They said, well, first to next week, which is exactly what they told me 2 weeks ago. And it didn't happen, so I just keep getting the runaround with these guys. So just not a good feeling. I was getting pretty cold feet on them and just about ready to pull the plug. And then it just so happened, my dad was out here earlier, and since the truck's parked out here, it has their name on the truck. And someone just driving down the road saw it, pulled in, and stopped and talked to my dad. I said, yeah, we use this company, don't use them. They did some really bad work. We called this guy, he came out the next day, fixed everything, and it was great. So got the number for that well driller, called him. I was on the phone with him for a half hour. Super nice dude. Really liked him, everything he was saying. He's literally done everybody around here. So that's a really good feeling. He's done my neighbors. So that makes me feel good. He was looking up the specs on the well depth, and my neighbors were at 198 feet. He's guessing I'll probably be, 150, 210, don't know, somewhere in there. So he really took the time to just go through all the specifics, and I just feel really good about it. So it does push it back a little further. So he said potentially by next Friday if the stars align. If not, then it'll be next week. So it just makes me feel so much better. I just feel like I can trust him a lot more. The other company, he actually knows them personally. And he said they're just going through some stuff. They're great guys, but they've just got a lot going on. So anyway, I called this well company's truck that's sitting out here and told him it was off. So hopefully I'll have a well here soon, the next week or two. But I figured I'd keep you guys updated on that.